Big breaking news coming in here on India Today. There's a live army and terrorist encounter currently on in the Naugam area of Handwara in North Kashmir. One Indian army jawan, we are sad to report, is critically injured in this encounter. 4 to 5 Pakistani terrorists are still currently holed up. Let's go straight across to Srinagar, where India Today's Shujaul Haq joins us live. Shuja, a second encounter has broken out in Handwara, north of Uri, where 4 to 5 terrorists, you're saying, are currently holed up. This is a live operation, Shuja.
Well, that's right, Shiv. This is a live operation which has started just, moments back. We're given to understand by our sources that gunfire has started there. There is a suspicion that, 4 to 5 militants could be holed up in this particular encounter. We are also been told that one jawan has sustained critical injuries. The Jammu and Kashmir police and the army is jointly conducting the operation. If the area once again falls in North Kashmir, remember we've been talking about Uri, which is again in North Kashmir, and Handwara is also not very far away from the line of control, so to speak. But clearly, with the kind of push that we are seeing, with the number of militants that seem to be present, not just on the line of control, but in the hinterland as well, it is very, very obvious that there is an escalation in terms of the militant activities in Kashmir Valley. And that's why we are seeing all these operations happening. As far as this operation is concerned, once again confirming that it is an ongoing operation where the army and the police are jointly carrying out their action, and there is a suspicion that 4 to 5 militants could be holed up there.
5 terrorists holed up there. This is in Handwara, in North Kashmir, in Kupwara sector. We're going to keep a track of this story as well. So what you have right now is a rapidly developing situation. And on India Today, you can rest assured, viewers, that we will never release live operational information that may actually help the enemy. What we will tell you right now is that there are 2 live operations currently on. One of them in the Uri sector, where 5 terrorists are at large and 10 terrorists have been killed. And another in the Handwara sector, where 5 terrorists have been holed up in one particular location, as Shujaul Haq, our correspondent, is reporting at this point of time. And remember, all of this coming just 48 hours, more than 48 hours after the terror strike by Pakistani terrorists in the Uri sector on the army camp, in which 18 Indian army jawans made the supreme sacrifice. So these are the 2 things that are currently on. We will go across to our reporters in Uri, in Srinagar, in Delhi and in New York City in just a short while from now to get you the very latest. Shuja, I want to still stay with you on the story. So you've got 2 terror encounters, live operations that are currently on at this point. We'll get Shuja back in just a moment, because this is all a manifestation of Pakistan doing what it does best. The army has foiled an infiltration bid by 10 terrorists in the Uri sector starting at about 1 p.m. today. By eliminating them, the search is on for 5 more of those terrorists. They apparently attempted to cross the border with Pakistan, forces providing covering fire. They fired at an Indian post before trying to cross over. The Indian army has been firing back in good measure, and 10 terrorists from Pakistan have been killed already in this particular encounter. Let's go across to India Today's Gaurav Sawant, who broke this story first here and exclusive here on India Today while others followed. Gaurav, 10 Pakistani terrorists tried to infiltrate. Actually, 15 tried to infiltrate and 10 have been killed. The Indian army is giving it back. And how, Gaurav?
Oh, absolutely, Shiv. Indian army has to make sure that no own casualties. Now, we believe 1 soldier is critically injured, but at the same time, Indian army is hitting back and hard. 10 terrorists have been killed, some more still being engaged. That cover fire that was coming from a Pakistani post, from what my sources tell me, that will also be engaged and firing will be for effect. At this point of time, even as you and I speak, Shiv, there are 2 encounters that are on, one in Handwara and the other in Uri, in Lachigaon area. Now, one is between the fence and the reception area, which means the terrorists had already infiltrated. They were perhaps waiting either for a patrol to pass and then come in deeper, or waiting for a porter or a guide to get them in. That is where the encounter is understood to have taken place, in the reception area. The second encounter is in the depth area. That's in Handwara. Yesterday in Handwara, Shiv, you'd recall, terrorists had opened fire at a police party and they fled. Apparently, the police and the army have been chasing them ever since, and they've cornered some terrorists. There is an encounter on, and we hope without any own casualties, we will hear some news from them. At the same time, there is also information about more armed terrorists lurking in this area, perhaps a part of the same suicide squad that had initially infiltrated into Poonch and was eliminated.
Okay.
Another batch in Uri, and perhaps this is the third batch that is still being engaged.
Incredible. Two separate encounters. And as I would like to echo Gaurav in saying we really hope and pray there are no more Indian casualties in any of these attacks. Our thoughts and our sentiments as a country are with our jawans on the border fighting Pakistan-sponsored and funded terrorists. Nobody stands with Pakistan. Two terror attacks. One has been foiled, one was successful, and these are live operations currently on. Gaurav, thanks for getting us the latest on that. We'll keep a track on the ground as well. Well, India today, meanwhile, has accessed the government's strategy to counter Pakistan. Not classified stuff, but we've got a sense of what is coming next. From effective retaliation to a diplomatic offensive, India plans to corner Pakistan globally, and that's actually what you're seeing happen in New York. Meanwhile, the probe into the cowardly terror strike in Uri has been intensified as evidence mounts against who else? Pakistan.
India's patience is running out, with the audacious attack by Jaish terrorists forcing India to weigh its first real options. The government has asserted it will leave no stone unturned to expose Pakistan. A day after Prime Minister Modi chaired a high-level meet in Delhi, Home Minister Rajnath Singh met the NSA Ajit Doval and other security officials in a meeting that discussed specific retribution.
It will happen. I think we have conveyed to very many friends of ours what exactly is happening. And I think in the world everybody realizes that the epicenter of terrorism lies in Pakistan.
The NIA has taken over the investigation in the deadly attack. The investigating team has lodged a formal FIR in the case and collected blood samples and fingerprints of the 4 terrorists neutralized by the forces on September 18. The army has been asked to hand over all evidence attached to the NIA, including the deadly arsenal terrorists were carrying with them, and recover GPS plotters, maps and food packets with park markings. One thing is clear, the dastardly attack by the country's rogue neighbor can't go unpunished. While media organizations speculate on how India should respond, India Today gets you the facts, an inside view of Prime Minister Modi's thought process from top sources in the security establishment.
First and foremost point, the government deciding that Pakistan cannot go unpunished. A political sanction of sorts has been given by the Prime Minister. Remember, after 26/11, another similar meeting was held where Manmohan Singh presided. At that time, after listening to the various options, the government came to the conclusion that there can be no retaliation. This time, though, the Prime Minister has given a green signal to retaliation. He said it must be effective, it must be swift, and it must be severe. What the Prime Minister has said, though, is that it is up to the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, and the 3 service chiefs to sit down and work out the operational modalities. Who will be targeted? When will the action take place? What form will this action be? All those details being left to the commanders on the ground. Central government ministers and some of the senior most ministers are being sent to key diplomatic capitals where an effort will be made to try and isolate Pakistan.
The broad inside track on the Modi government's counter strategy reveals an aggressive and organized mission post the Uri attack. All eyes now on how the plan will translate into action.